everyone. Welcome to the Jesus Taxi. On today's episode, we're going to be in Colorado Springs at Third Space Coffee, talking with Emme Koneski. And so it's going to be a great time as we talk about the Lord, as we talk about music and open mic and what they're doing for coffee down in Colorado Springs. Stick around for the next 30 minutes for the best part of your day. Cause you're the reason, you're the reason, you're the reason, you're the reason, you're the reason. Hey everybody, welcome to the Jesus Taxi Show, coming at you from Colorado Springs, Colorado. I am just outside of Third Space Coffee, which is owned by my brother and sister-in-law, and I have a great guest in the car today, sort of a mystery guest, everybody. But my name is Wayne Hanson. I'm your host for the Jesus Taxi Show. I'm glad you're joining me for the ride here today. Pushing a lot of buttons. It's a little crazy, but everybody, please welcome to the Jesus Taxi my niece, Emme. There she is.
Ta-da.
You know, a lot of people have been watching the Jesus Taxi Show now for a few years. And I started this show during the pandemic, and the first episode, Emme and I were driving around with our masks on from COVID, and she sang the national anthem, and we were driving you back from DIA. So, you remember all that, Em?
I do. I do remember that.
Crazy time. So I'm going to put it in AutoCut, and we are going to drive over to Garden of the Gods, one of the most scenic spots in Colorado Springs, and we'll just take our time and talk about life. A lot has happened. I think that was about 4 years ago that we filmed our first.
Oh boy, yeah, that was
4.5 maybe. 4.5 years ago.
If it was COVID.
Yeah, 5. 2019 to 2022,
6
right?
years ago? 7, yeah, 6 to 4.
Yeah.
Somewhere in between
Yeah,
there.
a lot has happened in your life in those years, right?
Yep.
You were born here?
No, I was born in Washington.
Oh, you were born in Washington too,
Yeah.
okay. And Woodby Island, where your dad was a Navy aviator, right?
Mm-hmm. And then in a couple weeks here, we're going to go to tech school so I can learn how to fix all the machines, and then I'm going to start like a coffee repair business.
You know, I have a Rencilio class 5 a coffee espresso machine that I think I've fixed, but it runs on 220. So you could take a look at it and maybe give it the once over.
After I do my
after
classes.
your school. Exactly. So what do you love about the coffee business?
I love the community. I love that it brings different people into my life that I may have never been friends with. Like, I have friends that are... I would turn right.
Is this Union? Yeah.
Okay. I have friends that are like old men or old women that I just probably would have never even spoken to in my life before.
Yeah, wise people, right?
Yeah. And I get to hear their experiences, and they share their lives with me, and I share mine with them, and it's... Yeah. It's just, it's a special kind of friendship you have. And then there are people where I've known them for years, and all I know about them is like the stuff that they get to share with me. But
right.
Then all of a sudden new things change, and they get new jobs, or they're moving, and it's like, wow, that's amazing that I just get to kind of watch your life happen.
Yeah. So what's been the big surprise for you moving from single life into young married life?
The biggest surprise?
Yeah.
I would say adjusting probably the way that I cook things, which is interesting because I like a lot of flavor, and Ethan.
Does your husband not like a?
He just, I think it's
spicy?
a little. He likes spicy, but I think it's more like I don't know. My mom is very eclectic and really all over the place with all the things that she's cooked, so I never really thought anything of like curries or Middle Eastern flavors or things like that. So I'll be like, oh, I made this, and he's like, what is that? And I'm like, You've never
because you travel so much. Our family travels so much.
Yeah.
Right. That's cool.
So just things like that, or hoping that, oh, maybe I don't have to do this, but I still have to do it.
So I have to ask, because you're like a master barista, what is your standard coffee order?
I drink a dry cappuccino.
What's a dry cappuccino?
So dry just means more foam. So it's just like espresso followed by foam. So The foam sits on top, and you tilt it up, the espresso flows in, and then it's just all foam.
And no sugar.
Every once in a while, I'll add 1 raw sugar, but I prefer just the espresso.
Yeah.
But I also love green tea. So.
Oh yeah. Especially when I need to calm down. Right? Yeah. It seems to help that way. One thing I love about Third Space Coffee is you guys help me host 4 times a year. We do an open mic night with the Nashville Songwriters Association. I'm the coordinator for Nashville Songwriters in Colorado, and we have about 80 songwriters in southern Colorado, and about 20 on big nights, maybe 15 or 20 of them will show up, and then they bring their family members and friends to listen to their original music.
They love it.
And you guys offer a great kind of food and beverage, and just a sweet atmosphere at the Third Space. And we've got a big song contest next month in April, which is what they call the Chapter Challenge. And the people that win from the chapter have the possibility of winning $10,000 and going to Nashville and getting some recording sessions.
Wow.
Blah, blah, blah. Yeah, it's kind of a cool thing.
That's really cool.
So that'll be next month, and then we'll have our standard open micers too. People that just want to play their music for family members and friends.
That's awesome.
So we do that 4 times a year. So if you're watching this, here in March, or if you're watching a rerun of this later, just be looking for Third Space Coffee in the Springs and the open mic, and you'll find us, and we'd love to have you come visit sometime. So do you think that it seems like the coffee business is going well for the family? Like something you guys are going to be doing for years to come, you think?
I hope so. I would like to move into doing wholesale roasting, and probably just keeping Third Space as like a smaller thing, and working into like fixing and doing appliances and things like that. So
I need to have you meet a friend of mine.
Yeah.
Her name is Tammy Canaday. She's a roaster up in Denver, and it's called Wagon Roasters. And they run sort of a sober community up there called Free Spiritual Community.
Nice.
And she roasts for grocery stores and coffee shops all over Denver.
Yeah, so I would love to do that.
Yeah, I'd love to have you meet her.
Have my coffee on the shelves other places.
Yep, that's really cool. Yeah. That's really cool.
So that's like the ultimate goal, but one step at a time.
Yeah,
so.
I love it. Yeah, so you're going from being master barista to like just knowing the coffee business inside and out.
Absolutely, that's the goal. So there's still some things, you learn new things every day about coffee and about profiling or flavors or machinery that you didn't know before. And people come out with different tools and different little tech things that are helpful, and it's just it's developing so quickly. Yeah.
Well, technology is doing. So here we're coming up here on one of the best views of Pikes Peak in Colorado Springs.
Isn't that incredible?
It is absolutely incredible. That's the mountain that was the inspiration for the song "America the Beautiful." And I think about all the things that have happened in this town since I moved here, and before then, we have Air Force Academy here. We got the Fort Carson, and Ethan he's a fireman, right?
Yeah, so he was a fireman in the Air Force, but now he's just a fireman for the Department of Defense.
Okay.
But he's working at a Space Force
Cheyenne
base.
Mountain, or?
No, out east.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, so he's there now.
Yep.
And
so do you ever take him dinner, take him food out there sometimes?
Sometimes. Since it's a Space Force base, they're pretty high security.
Right.
But when he was on the Air Force Academy, I would bring him all sorts of things.
Yeah, that's cool.
So it's just been a little bit of an adjustment, but
that's very
nice
awesome.
Shifts.
Yeah,
so.
For sure. When we think about the stuff that you make at Third Space, what do people order over and over again? What's their favorite orders at Third Space?
Yeah, we have seasonal flights, so we do coffee flights that feature 4 mini drinks.
I need to do that.
Yeah.
Next time.
So we and they change all the time. Sometimes we'll let people pick their own, like a custom flight, but right now we have a spring flight.
Okay.
And that is featuring what does it have on there? A shamrock mocha, which is creme de menthe and white chocolate.
Yeah, that was great for St. Patrick's Day.
Yep, and it's still delicious even after St. Patrick's Day.
That's right.
We have a Earth Day matcha.
Okay.
Which is like a blue raspberry matcha.
How fun.
And it's layered, so it's got like the green on the top and the blue with the white milk. It's really cool.
Wow, so it's cool to take a picture of that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
We have an Easter latte.
Uh-huh. Oh, that's coming up.
Which is like baklava flavors inspired. So it's like pistachio, honey, and rose whipped cream.
Yeah.
Then we have a spring blossom soda, which is lavender and orange.
Wow, so like crafty Italian sodas.
Yeah, so we do all sorts of different things. And sometimes we have lemonades on there. Sometimes we have different chais or different cold brews or things like that. So
Yep.
It changes all the time, but
that's really cool. One thing that's cool about this coffee shop, folks, if you ever come down here to Colorado Springs, they've when I come to either bring posters or when I'm setting up for an open mic, there's always people studying. You must have high-speed internet. People are, it's a chill vibe.
Lots of places to hang out and sit.
Yeah, it's not too loud. It's just kind of the right level of. There's good, healthy conversation, but it's not annoying. Sometimes, the coffee shops play the music so loud it drives people away.
Right.
But and then my wife Kim's got a bunch of pottery there at Third Space.
Yeah, people love her pottery.
So if you're looking for a custom mug, Kim's got some pottery there, and I think about what was big for your family this year was Finn. Getting done with basic training, right?
Yes. I'm so proud of him.
That was so cool. So what is he stationed somewhere now, or what's going on with Finn now?
Yeah, so he is in the National Guard. So he's at tech school right now, just learning kind of his position in the National Guard.
Yeah.
And he's going to be a field medic. So
that's good.
Yeah, so he's in EMTA classes right now. And I think he'll be there until July.
Yeah.
And then after that, he's going to come home. I think he still wants to be an EMT or a medic outside, just to
What a great marketable skill, right?
Isn't that awesome? And it transfers too. So
for sure.
I've talked to him about, I was like, you could go active. He was like, I think I might, but I just want to do this. I want to go to school. I want to get a degree and then
learn a skill, right? Yeah, that's really good.
So
your mom posted a video that actually made me cry when they tapped him out of basic. I know,
it made me cry too when I saw it.
Your dad gave me a huge hug and I'm like, man, I'm so proud of him. And he goes, we have no idea how hard basic training might be for somebody, or what psychological kind of obstacles you have to overcome. And I know that, Finn is a special guy. He's very creative, and I'm very creative. You don't have a show like the Jesus Taxi show without being very creative, being a musician and all that, and so the fact that he's finding his way in life and finding his path, it's really, really awesome.
Yeah, there's a singer, Zach Bryan. You know who that is?
Yeah.
He was in the military and he was in the Navy, and he was a singer-songwriter, and he posted some songs and they blew up really big, and they actually kicked him out of the military because he was getting too famous.
Wow.
So I tell Finn, I'm like, just keep writing your songs, keep singing your song. And he brought a guitar with him to tech school, or he bought a little one, or I'm not sure.
I bet he wrote a couple songs.
Yeah. And so I'm just excited to hear that and hear his stories. And
that's really cool.
Yeah, see where he goes. Cool. He's such a good songwriter, I can sing a little, but that's not a skill that I have, and I'm so impressed.
Yeah, we've had Finn at the open mic, so if you want to hear some good local talent, you guys come out and maybe Finn will be there. So we are approaching Garden of the Gods. I'm going to take a quick 30-second break. You're going to hear from Summit Church of Sedalia, and then we're going to come back and drive through Garden of the Gods. We're going to talk about the Lord a little bit.
Let's do it.
So here we go.
What do you look for at a good church? A loving spiritual family? Life-giving messages that help you draw closer to God? A place to raise your kids with moral values? A place to connect? A place to protect? And a place to grow? You can find all this and more at Summit Church of Douglas County in Sedalia, Colorado. Summit Church isn't a perfect church, but it's a loving spiritual family nestled in the foothills of the Rocky Mountains in Sedalia. Come join us for an in-person worship at 10:30 a.m. Mountain Time at 4240 North Perry Park Road in Sedalia, Colorado, 80135. Or join us live on our Facebook page at facebook.com/Summit Church Sedalia. For more information about our ministry, visit mysummitchurch.com. Do you want to start a relationship with God? Visit 29minutes.org and learn more about how to have a friendship with Jesus Christ.
All right, everybody, welcome back to the Jesus Taxi Show. I'm in the cab with my niece, Emme, and we are about to drive into Garden of the Gods in Colorado Springs. And Emme, I know that you and I, it's almost like a given. Our whole family was raised by Jesus lovers. Mm-hmm. Our grandparents were missionaries in Jamaica and in South America. We've got sort of a mixed, background of Baptist and Pentecostal and Presbyterian, mm-hmm. from all different backgrounds. But this is the Jesus Taxi Show. So, Emme, tell me, what has Christ meant to you now as you're growing now into like a married woman in your adult and young career life? What is, how is your spiritual relationship with Christ developing?
Yeah, I think that I feel more comfortable in my faith and more comfortable just like owning who I want to be and who the Lord wants me to be, and just really recognizing that. And I think growing up it can be a little bit harder because you might be afraid of judgment from other people, but I think that it's a lot easier to let that go and not care about what other people think. Yeah. I'm a youth leader at my church.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
What church?
So Trace Church.
Oh, I don't know if I've heard of that church.
They're fantastic. It is like it's big, and it's getting really big.
Where are they located?
Off Mark Dabbling in Garden of the Gods. So we passed it on the way up here.
Oh, nice.
But,
okay. Yeah, maybe I heard that Grandpa was going there.
He actually told me to go there. He was like, it's a really young church, so you and Ethan should go there.
That's
and
really
we did, and it's awesome. It's so welcoming, so fantastic.
Yeah.
But
and good youth programs.
Yeah. So I just love being able to pour into other people and give them the opportunity to because when I was in high school, I think that I wasn't as close to the Lord, as close to Jesus as I wanted to be. Yeah. And so just giving people the opportunity to maybe ask questions or, say things that they might feel uncomfortable discussing with maybe their parents or with other people. And it's like, I'm not here to judge you, I'm here to love you. That's been a really awesome opportunity. But I just think I really love worshiping Jesus. Yeah. I love singing to him, and
you have a beautiful voice.
Thank you. It's just really become like a daily part of my routine. I wake up and it just sets me on the right track. So
Me too.
I'm just so thankful for the ability to do that.
Right? It's beautiful. When I think about you and Ethan, I was a youth pastor, youth evangelist for 17 years. Mm-hmm. So you two would have been my ideal candidates for youth workers. Yeah. You were what I call dinks, double income, no kids. Yeah. And to be a dink is pretty great. It doesn't last very long. Nope. Kim and I were dinks for maybe almost 3 years, and then we had Zach. But that we were serving. We were volunteering a lot at church then. We were doing drama ministry and kids ministry and youth ministry and worship and all that stuff, And so this is a great time of your life to do a lot of that volunteer work, learn your craft, and get really good at it. Mm-hmm. And I go here, right? Yeah. Okay, cool. Here is Garden of the Gods, everybody. It's a legendary spot in Colorado Springs. If you ever have a chance to get here, there's no entry fee, and it's a gorgeous place. You can drive around these little redstone canyons, and it's a perfect setting for us to talk about the Lord Jesus.
Right?
I think of how long I've lived in Colorado now. I grew up in Detroit, Michigan, and then later on I graduated from Tecumseh High School, where they make the Tecumseh small engine. It was a motorcycle engine and a motorbike engine and like a lawnmower engine, and it was an interchangeable kind of deal. And then the parsonage of my dad's house was across from the Mazda Miata factory. Okay. So I could look out my bedroom window and watch the Mazda Miata come off the line. Nice. But Michigan is beautiful, but it is nothing like Colorado. I mean, this place is incredible. And the beauty of creation, I don't know how anyone can come here and say that there is no God. Or have these thoughts as if they thought they've created themselves. It's like nature always makes me think, where did all this come from? Who started all this? I think that's also something that more recently I look at things and I take it in a little bit deeper, and I'm like, this is just incredible. Right? This was put here for us to enjoy, for us to notice and see that
God is good, and He made this for us to
Right.
live and to prosper and to come together and to celebrate Him. And I see it in like pretty rocks, or like
Right.
hummingbirds with like a billion different colors, or anything,
the
honestly.
elk and the deer and the
They're
bear,
so
right?
majestic,
Oh,
and
that's
they just look
amazing.
so incredible.
So amazing, right? Yeah, and I think if someone is, and I was just, a city dweller I was always a city person, and so I think that's why I kind of longed to move out west. I was on Saturday mornings as a kid, I was always watching westerns. I was watching The Lone Ranger, or I was watching cowboy movies, or watching John Wayne. In fact, I'm named after John Wayne, and so I always had this love for the westward idea of going out west, go west, young man. And it hasn't disappointed. I still love where I come from, but Colorado is really my spiritual home, and there's something about breathing that mountain air. For me now these days, it's getting on a motorcycle, and just letting that breeze hit me, and winding through some roads like this, and just remembering how small I am and how big God is.
Yeah.
When you think about Colorado Springs, we've had so many. Look at these rocks; they're unbelievable, man.
I took my senior pictures.
Unbelievable.
Right here.
I think we took some family pictures one year here. Isn't that gorgeous? It's really something. It's breathtaking. It's breathtaking.
It's just how it's really incredible. Like, that's just a word for it.
Exactly. Yeah. So I think of that we've had so many ministries here in Colorado Springs. That's one thing that it's both a strength and a weakness. I think about the Springs, is it's kind of known as the Wheaton of the West. There's a lot of Christians here. In fact, there's more Christians per capita probably in Colorado Springs than any other major city in Colorado.
Yes.
As liberal and as left-leaning as Boulder and Denver are, Colorado Springs leans hard to the right and hard to the Christian right, and it hasn't been without its scandals and controversies. That's for sure. A lot of hurt feelings, and some people that did it right, and some people that did it really, really wrong. Should I go left or right here?
This way loops back around, and this way kind of goes out that way.
Should we go this way? More view? Okay. Yeah, so I think about James Dobson's house from Focus on the Family was right through those rocks. I'd been to his house once, and he had a view of kissing camels out of his back patio.
That's so beautiful.
And there's a lot of ministry leaders and publishers, speakers, authors that live in Colorado Springs. And of course, being a Nashville person, I was always kind of put off by Christian celebrity, or someone who wants to act like a big shot,
right?
Especially if their career is supposed to be, based on Christianity. I'm like, hey, let's make sure that we're right sizing ourselves and make much of God and not so much of us.
Absolutely.
We might have a good idea, but in the end, all those ideas came from God.
Yeah, you were created by Him, so give credit where credit's due.
Exactly. What have you learned maybe from all your experiences in Colorado Springs, surrounded by so many ministries and Christians and Christian leaders and stuff?
I think that I've learned that there are many different ways and forms and people that love the Lord, and it's not exclusive to just one type of person or maybe one way of worshiping God. Like, there's all sorts of different ways that you can appreciate like what you've been given and be grateful for the things that we have.
Right.
And so I think just learning that it's not necessarily maybe always singing a song or dancing, but maybe just go and meditating to Him in the woods, or just sitting there and looking at the mountain and saying, this is so incredible. Like, you've given me the ability to stand here today and look at this and acknowledge you. And I think actually Colorado Springs, we have like a certain mix, to say, of different types of people. And so I think it's given me an opportunity to kind of love people and to showing them, like, a lot of people have been hurt from the church, and so like when they come to a place like Colorado Springs, because it is so beautiful, and then they realize maybe how Christian or how conservative it can be, they get a little turned off.
Yeah.
And it's like, I can love you and show you different ways of Jesus and who he is, and I can love you like Jesus did, and hope that you can see the good in that and not just focus on the bad things.
Right.
But I have enjoyed being able to share the Lord with other people.
Yeah.
And saying like, this is just, it's not bad. He's good. He's all good.
Right.
Everything is good.
Right. If what God made is so good, then we can also trust him to be good.
Yes.
In our lives, right?
Absolutely.
Well, Emme, can you believe it? We're almost to I think we're actually at our broadcast length.
Wow.
And so we're right there. I want to just make this invitation. I do this every time we have the show, and I'm so grateful that Emme's with me today, because she was episode number 1, our first broadcast length guest all those many years ago, and all the different experiences I've had in various cities. But maybe you're watching and you're thinking that Christianity is about politics. Can I tell you, it's not about politics. Jesus is bigger than politics. Mm-hmm. That God's love, his creation, nature, it's bigger than my opinion. It's bigger than style preference. It's bigger than celebrity. And that God really loves you. He's got a great plan for your life. And both Emme and I are surrounded by great family members and mentors who's poured into our lives. And probably the most important thing they ever taught us is always to keep Jesus first place. Mm-hmm. And so I do a simple prayer at the end of every broadcast based on this acronym STP. Sorry, thank you, please. And maybe you've watched this and maybe you do have some church hurt, or maybe you're going through, as you hear this, you think, man, I hope God loves me. I think maybe he does, but people have hurt you. Can I tell you, if you got hurt in church, Jesus didn't do that. Right. It was a person that did that. And he wants you just the way you are. He wants you just to come to him. And that STP just stands for sorry, thank you, please. I believe it's how you come back to Christ. It's how you start the relationship with him. So if you want to pray that simple prayer of just coming back to God, pray this prayer with me right now. Say, Dear Jesus, I'm sorry for my sin. Thank you for dying on the cross for me. I believe God raised you from the dead, according to the scriptures. Please come into my heart. Forgive me of my sin. Be the Lord of my life. I want to follow you, Jesus, from this moment forward. Amen. Amen. That's so beautiful. And Emme, thanks for being on the Jesus Taxi.
Thanks for bringing me back.
It was so great. And here we are at the foothills of Pikes Peak. And join us next time as we take another tour around Colorado. God bless you. See you next time.
You're the reason why I'm standing here and singing out your highest praise. You're the greatest reason why I'm loving life this way. I clap my hands and I sing and dance and I make some noise, make it, 'cause you're the